A march was held in Gyumri on October 12 with the slogan "Grow More, Feed Our Country" of Oxfam's Grow Global campaign and the slogan "Reducing the Risk of Disasters," dedicated to International Disaster Risk Reduction Day on October 13. The march was organized by the offices of Oxfam Great Britain Benevolent Organization and the United Nations in Armenia, with support from Oxfam's Civil Society Partnership Network, which includes 27 NGOs and the Armenian Red Cross Society, as well as partnering local and international organizations. During the nearly 2-hour march that started from Shirak Regional Council and reached Gyumri Municipality, the youth dressed in Red Cross shirts distributed colorful booklets on fires and earthquakes from the series entitled "Be Ready to Resist Disasters," and dozens of volunteers dressed in Oxfam shirts held a special fundraiser suggesting that citizens join the calls of "No to arbitrary inflation of foods" and "Yes to local agricultural production." Each of the citizens agreeing with these calls signed separate papers that were posted on a large poster with the same call. The package of signatures collected with partners and the summary of the results of the corresponding expert studies on arbitrary inflation will be submitted to the government for the latter to reinforce regulation and be consistent to not allow arbitrary inflation. The expectation is not to receive high profits, but to have the government play its role and regulate the market. According to the coordinator for the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations in Shirak Province, the action was efficient, many people joined the calls, and there was even a free spot for incomplete papers on 2 large posters. Many avoided, but I can also say that there were many participants. Our volunteers did a good job, and I am very grateful to them. The event can be considered a success. There are many people who want to stay anonymous because they are afraid, or they have different stereotypes. The people don't believe in this issue much. A march with the same calls and posters was also held the next day on October 13 in Yeghegnadzor city, which is the center of Yeghegnadzor province. Several dozens of youth toured the streets of the city with a slogan reading, "Let's reduce the risk of disasters together," and the signs of Armenia's National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction reading, "Step toward the reduction of disaster risks." Unlike the similar event organized in Gyumri on October 12, all passers-by agreed to participate in the petition in Yeghegnadzor. In addition, the citizens of Yeghegnadzor generously spoke of their issues and offered solutions. Almost everyone mentioned that they were mainly involved with agricultural production, but the biggest problem was the low price of products and the lack of adequate support in selling those products. Based on statistics, nearly 34% of Armenia's population is poverty-stricken, and 15% of that population lives in Yeghegnadzor. This is one of the provinces of Armenia where there is a high rate of unemployment, where there are almost no industrial enterprises, and in addition to all that, the natural disasters, artificial inflation, the state of the domestic market make the people living in the province poorer. The action was quite successful. One could see active participants and the community's youth volunteers on the streets. Summing up the results of the event, President of the Against Arbitrary Laws NGO, Mikhail Aramian, particularly mentioned, "We hope that these types of actions will be more massive, consistent, and frequent so that we can fix something from the bottom up until we learn to build instruments of civil society and try to move forward with the dream of building a wonderful homeland and not just learn to have command of those instruments." News and Interest Protection Correspondent of Oxfam Great Britain, Christina Hovanesyan, was also motivated by the results of the events held during the past 2 days. She underlined, "I have worked a lot with the provinces, and I see that the right thing is when the youth take part in solving the issues that are related to their daily lives and social conditions. It should especially be the provinces feeling that they have taken a step forward. The most important thing is for this to be ongoing."